The objective of this lesson is to analyze shape attributes and properties to create a shape sort with a rule that the students will choose. This is a task-based lesson. Students will be using information from previous lessons and other areas of mathematics to reason through the task, and they should encounter a productive struggle. Students have learned about the attributes to a variety of shapes, as well as how to measure angles. Some common attributes used to classify shapes are angle measurements, the presence of parallel sides, the number of sides, common side lengths, and more. Let's look at today's task. Here are 3 sets of shapes. Students are expected to use deductive reasoning to determine the attributes of the following shapes. The shape sort is divided into 3 categories. All of these have something in common, none of them have it, and which of these have it. The first set of shapes all have something in common. Let's first look at the shapes and determine the number of sides. Notice there are 3, 4, and 5-sided figures. It can't be the number of sides. Next, let's look for the presence of parallel sides. There are 2 triangles in this group, and they do not have parallel sides, so it can't be that. Let's check the type of angles. Squares and rectangles only have right angles, so let's check for right angles. We can observe that every shape has at least one right angle. We can reason that we are looking for shapes with right angles. Now let's check the second set of shapes. As we check the rhombus, pentagon, triangle, hexagon, and trapezoid, we can see that none of these shapes have a right angle. Okay, now it's time to check our hypothesis. The first shape is a parallelogram. Although a square and a rectangle are also parallelograms, meaning that the shape has 2 sets of parallel sides, this shape does not have any right angles. Let's look at the irregular hexagon. This shape does have 2 right angles, so let's include that shape in our set. The next shape is a rectangle. It has 4 right angles. Let's also include this shape in our set. Next, we have the yellow right trapezoid. It is called a right trapezoid because it also has a right angle. We will include that shape in our set. Last, we have a green triangle. This shape does not have any right angles. We will not include this shape in our set. Through deductive reasoning, we were able to determine that there were 3 shapes in our last set that have right angles. Students are given the opportunity to divide a large sheet of paper into 3 columns with the appropriate headings of all of these have something in common, none of these have it, and which of these have it. As students work through attributes of different shapes, they will learn to sort shapes according to specific attributes. The objective for this lesson was to analyze shape attributes and properties to create a shape sort with the rule that the students chose. We met this objective by analyzing other shapes, and we determined if the shapes followed the rule or didn't follow the sorting rule using deductive reasoning. Students created their own rule for a shape sort.